For years, Remy Ma and Fat Joe were like family. Their bond started in the late 1990s when Joe, who was already well known in hip-hop, decided to create something more than just a music group. That's when Terror Squad came into being, a crew that felt like home for talented artists. Now, things are heating up between Remy Ma and Papoose, and it's not just about their breakup. Fat Joe has been dragged into the drama, and Papo's new girlfriend is making audacious moves that are causing even more trouble. Let's explore what's really going on. Their relationship was never just business. Joe treated her like a sister over the years, and they stuck together through all the highs and lows, proving their bond was unbreakable. However, things have taken a shocking turn as Papoose, Remy's husband, has come forward with some explosive claims, claiming that Remy has been unfaithful to him for years and that he's been trying to end their marriage for a while. He saw her raw talent and fiery energy and knew she could dominate the rap game, so he signed her, mentored her, and gave her the visibility she needed to succeed. Remy recently shared screenshots of text messages that seemed to show a conversation between Papoose and professional boxer Claressa Shields. In these messages, Shields seems to be warning Papoose to act quickly about a situation that could cause PR trouble. She even mentioned a big reveal tied to her upcoming movie release. The accusations came after the text left fans wondering about another layer of betrayal in the already chaotic situation. According to the allegations, girlfriend Claressa Shields has been threatening Remy, which has fueled the flames even more. Remy alleges that Papoose threatened her, even attempted to call the police, and threatened to release private information from revenge. Papoose retaliated, denying the accusations but refusing to back down, accusing Remy of cheating and even revealing that she spent Christmas 2023 with her rumored boyfriend Ease. To make matters worse, Papoose posted a picture of Remy with Easy during the holidays, which fueled even more rumors. As all of this is happening, Fat Joe's name has been called into the fray. Now, as people wonder how these tangled relationships will affect their bond, the drama is still unfolding with no clear answers in sight. What comes next for Remy Ma, Papoose, and everyone caught in the crossfire is something that only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this story isn't over yet. Papoose couldn't forget even if he wanted to a tense encounter with battle rapper Easy, which at first glance seemed innocuous and respectful. Easy had confidently shaken Papoose's hand, a simple gesture that carried weight, trust, camaraderie, and, in a rare moment of unadulterated honesty, Papoose confessed that I knocked him out because he shook my hand and then slept with my wife. To him, it was about principles that a handshake meant something, and Ease destroyed it without hesitation. However, for Papoose, the act itself wasn't the pain. Rather, it was the betrayal that followed. Holding back either, she doubled down in another bitter post, sharing more text exchanges between Papoose and Claressa Shields, the boxer caught in their storm. She openly called Shields stupid for involving herself with Papoose, but she didn't stop there. She boasted about her own success, saying, "I'm the one making money, not Papoose." Her words were scathing, almost taunting, as if she wanted to make it clear that she was untouchable financially, and, Papoose, however, wasn't about to remain silent, so he retaliated. As the drama progresses, the wounds between them are exposed for everyone to see, a tale of love, trust, and heartbreak that spirals into a public battle with no apparent end in sight. In his own words, he'd accused Remy of years of repeated infidelity, expressing his frustration and revealing the heartbreak of a man who had given everything to someone who, in his opinion, had thrown it all away. It is sad to say that he wrote, but Remy is a narcissist who chose to cheat repeatedly. The impact on their daughter was the true source of Papoose's heartbreak, not just the betrayal. He had done everything he could to protect her from the chaos and keep his pain private for as long as possible. But as things got out of hand, Remy wasn't fazed and dismissed Papa's accusations as the resentment of a man who was trying to damage her reputation. She carried herself with an air of defiance to her supporters, which was a show of strength to others. but the fallout became a spectacle, with each new accusation adding fuel to the fire. Their conflict wasn't just about love gone wrong. It was a battle of pride, hurt, and egos that left no room for reconciliation. Meanwhile, their public feud dominated headlines, dividing fans. While some supported Papoose, praising his honesty and integrity, others accused him of bringing their personal problems into the public eye. At the same time, Remy's supporters praised her bravery, seeing her unapologetic demeanor as evidence of resilience. Exhausted by the never-ending cycle of public arguments, Papoose finally broke down and expressed his frustration in a post that felt like a final farewell. He revealed that he had repeatedly asked for a divorce, but that his attempts at private resolutions had been rejected. She would prefer to influence Chase on social media before sitting down and handling this like an adult, he said, adding that for Papoose, the social media doctor wasn't just petty. He witnessed the toll it was taking on their 6-year-old daughter, who was forced to grow up in the shadow of her family's very public struggles. However, hiding behind the public chaos was a deeper truth. Their story wasn't just about egos or betrayal. It was a raw reflection of the complexities of love and the pain of losing someone you once trusted completely. In their case, the balance had tragically tipped toward heartbreak, with the silent, enduring presence of an ancient tree serving as a backdrop. The story of Papoose and Remy was no longer just about betrayal or a failed marriage. It was a reminder of resilience and a call to endure, heal, and move forward. Whether they could hear that call or not, it remains to be seen. But for now, the drama between Papoose and Remy and everyone else seemed to mirror their struggles. Its roots were dug deep, standing firm despite the storms, and it whispered a simple truth: growth and healing begin with acceptance. For the sake of my daughter, Papoose said in a voice full of frustration, she has to go to school and face this, and I stayed quiet all this time just for her. His words reflected the weight he had carried trying to protect his child from the fallout of a marriage breaking apart under public scrutiny, but even his patience had its limits, and as the situation worsened, remaining silent no longer felt like an option. Not content to remain silent, Shields, a 26-year-old boxer caught in the middle of the storm, took to X, formerly Twitter, and threw shade at Remy Ma with the tone of smug satisfaction. Misery loves company, baby. SMA. She added, I'm just so happy over here. Her posts were full of condescension, making fun of Remy's recent social media TI ratings. Shields went further, dismissing the drama as clown behavior and taking a direct shot at Remy's age, saying, I can't believe a 45-year-old woman is crashing out like this, before concluding with a clown emoji. Her response wasn't just a defense. It was a calculated move to shift the focus back onto Shields. She added another layer of drama by saying, I'm not your enemy. Maybe tell your boyfriend to get you some flowers and gifts. Even though he hasn't answered his phone all week, he's been with his age girl. She wasn't about to let that age dig go, so she responded with her trademark sharp wit and clapped back, correcting Shields while adding her own jab. I'm not 45 yet. Intensify the conflict by posting screenshots of an old Instagram direct message thread that purportedly showed Shields asking her for fashion advice for Remy. This wasn't just about retaliation, it was also about control. By sharing those messages, she reminded Shields and everyone else that she still had the upper hand in this public feud, but Shields didn't back down. Instead, she retaliated, strengthening her position against her. Remy's actions were nothing more than desperation, an effort to remain relevant in a situation that had long slipped out of anyone's control. As the days passed, the feud showed no signs of slowing down. Each new accusation added another layer to an already messy saga. But beneath all the noise, there was a quieter truth, a yearning for peace and closure for a while. The youngest of the three caught in a storm, her confidence was striking, but it frequently veered into arrogance, masking the deeper wounds that this chaotic situation had inflicted on everyone involved. It was a way to stand tall amid the fallout, to move on, but nobody seemed prepared to take the first step in that direction. At the center of it all was their 6-year-old daughter, who was the one most impacted by the chaos. For her, the stakes were much higher than anyone seemed to realize, and every word her parents said to one another and every choice they made would influence how she understood love, trust, and family. While the adults fought, she was left to make sense of a world that had suddenly become much more complicated than it should have been. This wasn't just a tale of betrayal, pride, or public feuds. It was a painful reminder. When the dust was about to settle, the question remained, would any of them find the closure they so desperately needed, or were they doomed to remain trapped in this never-ending cycle of pain and resentment? Time would tell. The feud continued to escalate, with Shields returning to the spotlight to defend herself. She was obviously fed up and fired back at the accusations, dismissing the drama with her own scathing words. "You making fake texts is crazy." Her tone was direct and unyielding, calling Remy's behavior immature and bitter. "You're mad and bitter, and you're making yourself look stupid. Just stop it," she said, expressing her frustration. For Shields, this wasn't just about clearing her name. It was also about setting boundaries and refusing to be pulled further into the chaos. However, with each rebuttal, the situation only became more volatile, serving as a constant reminder of the delicate frame. Shields, who is always quick to seize opportunities, used the raging controversy to highlight her career. She wrote a smooth transition to promote her upcoming fight, which is scheduled for February 2nd in Flint, Michigan, for more heavyweight titles, and The Fire Inside comes out Christmas Day in a theater near you. This was a calculated move that used the drama as a springboard to refocus attention on her professional achievements while subtly taunting her critics. However, Shields wasn't done. In a since-deleted post, she turned the feud into a punchline. Claressa Shields versus Remy in a mock announcement. Claressa Shields versus Real Rama February 2nd. Come get your ass whooped, crash out. Her humor was biting, framing their conflict as though it were a boxing match and reveling in the ridiculousness of it all. Shields seemed to enjoy using the chaos as fodder for her sharp wit, mocking the situation while keeping the spotlight firmly on herself. Shields added even more heat when she called out what she perceived as contradictions in Remy's behavior. Referencing the tangled accusations involving Papoose, she wrote, "If I'm not the only one, why the hell are you tagging me?" Her words were cutting, positioning herself as someone who was simply caught in the crossfire of a messy and contradictory situation. Remy, who never backs down, responded with fire, claiming that Papoose had privately insulted Shields, allegedly telling her, "I'd never you because you're ugly." The insult was intended to undermine Shields' confidence publicly, but Remy didn't stop there. In a follow-up post, she shared an intimate end. She wrote, "He refuses to leave, and this is supposed to be a world champion boxer." Her disdain was evident, portraying Shields as desperate despite her professional success. Despite this, the insults seemed to roll off, or at least that's what her public responses suggested. She continued to emphasize her career, her focus on her upcoming fight, and her ability to rise above the drama, misery, and love company she shared. Had previously written that she wouldn't allow the chaos to bring her down, but social media blew up, and fans and followers weighed in, turning the feud into a public spectacle. The debates were heated, with some people siding with Remy, and Papoose found the whole situation to be a nightmare from which he was unable to escape. Remy and Shields squared off online, and he was caught in the middle, his every move being watched. All he wanted was to move on and concentrate on his daughter, but the more he tried to distance himself, the more it felt impossible. It was a reminder of how quickly personal conflicts can turn into public spectacles, turning private pain into entertainment for the world to analyze. The question remained as to who would emerge from this with their dignity intact, if anyone, and as the days turned into weeks, the feud veered further from its origins, becoming less about the initial issues and more about pride, ego, and the need to win. A story that had already spiraled out of control was further complicated by each new post. But get their lives back on track. Tangled in a web of accusations and miscommunications, It had turned into a CAU story about love betrayal and the perils of allowing private conflicts to play out in the public eye. As the drama developed, fans couldn't help but wonder how Fat Joe felt about it all, with whispers of gang affiliations and intense loyalty to Remy Ma. It seemed that Joe's name was inexorably linked to the chaos. Fat Joe has a reputation for being respected in the streets, one that even legendary figures like Tony Yo and 50 Cent have acknowledged. These aren't the type of guys who give compliments carelessly. At one point, Yale called Joe the real deal, and even 50 Cent acknowledged that Joe commands serious respect in the streets despite past beefs. This isn't just industry talk. It's a reluctant nod to Joe's credibility, which is based not only on his music, but also on the life he's led. Joe's street tread wasn't just about rapping. It was about surviving and thriving in a tough environment. Stories about gang wars, shootouts, and being the head of the terror squad have always surrounded him. Critics say he may be embellishing for attention, but industry heavyweights frequently support these claims, adding weight to his legend. What's even more intriguing is how complicated Joe's street reputation seems. Some insiders suggest his connections ran deeper than most realize, possibly extending beyond local gangs to powerful, shadowy figures in the Bronx and beyond, people pulling strings behind the scenes. Environment, or was he playing a much bigger game that went far beyond music? There have been rumors that Joe was involved in payback that involved real street-level moves rather than just music feuds, unlike many rappers who embellish the truth to gain influence. Joe's past feels like an open secret that few dare to discuss publicly. Could it be that Joe wasn't just living or even influencing street culture in the Bronx? Some speculate that Joe's influence was so strong that it made him nearly untouchable. There are intriguing but unverified rumors that he reached out to people even law enforcement wouldn't touch, with accusations of corruption, shady deals, and connections to international crime networks. Could this be the reason that, despite all of the chaos and controversies, Joe has avoided serious legal issues? Fat Joe's name is powerful not only in hip-hop, but also in places that most of us will never know whether it's true or not. His legacy is shrouded in mystery, which feeds the debate about who he is, a product of his surroundings and a power player in the. Even 50 Cent, who had one of the most notorious feuds with Joe in the early 2000s, hinted that Joe's reputation wasn't just hype. Their feud was intense, with diss tracks flying back and forth, but beneath the drama, there was an unspoken respect. 50 Cent admits he didn't like Joe, but I can't deny the loyalty and respect he. In the streets, he even likened Joe's influence to that of a New York Suge Knight, stating that even though I worked hard for everything I had, no one ever extorted me or bullied me. In this way, 50 Cent's grudging recognition of Joe's power speaks volumes. This kind of respect wasn't just talk. Joe earned it not only in the music industry, but also in the streets, where his name carried actual weight. Weight as seen by fans. This impact can cause Papoose a lot of problems.